Welcome back to DIYs with Sonja. Today we're diving into some gorgeous spring decor dupes that will give your space a high-end look on a budget. If you love Pottery Barn, McGee Co, and other designer brands but don't want to spend a fortune, you're in the right place. I've got several DIYs that will bring the elegant spring aesthetic into your home, all at a fraction of the cost. So let's jump right in. Our first project is a Pottery Barn inspired Forsythia wreath. This bright and cheerful piece is perfect for spring, bringing a pop of yellow to your front door or interior decor. Instead of paying retail prices, I'm going to show you how to make a stunning version using affordable materials. The materials that I needed for this was the bunny wreath form from Dollarama, which I picked up for $5. Also, Forsythia stems, they are currently at Dollarama for $1.75. I had some from previous years. You're going to need some wire cutters, hot glue and glue sticks, floral wire, which is optional for extra support. So first, this wreath form was actually wrapped in a wire, and which I hadn't realized when I first bought it. To separate it, I used wire cutters to carefully snip away extra wire and remove the bunny shape, leaving just the circular base. I had a mix of older and newer Forsythia stem, and I noticed that the newer ones had slightly larger flowers and were more open. I will show you that in just a little bit. I cut the long stems down into smaller branch-like pieces to create a fuller, more natural look. I started by attaching two longer Forsythia stems to the wreath base first and secure them with small piece of cut wire and a bit of hot glue. This created a strong foundation. Then one by one, I inserted the smaller Forsythia branches into the frame, making sure to distribute them evenly around the wreath. Some pieces stayed in place on their own, while others needed a dab of hot glue to ensure they were secure. Here is the difference between the new Forsythia and the old one. I checked for any sparse areas and filled them in with extra stems. Once finished, I hung it up on my home sign at the front door, and I absolutely love how it brightens up the space. My DIY cost around $8 in total, and compared to Pottery Barn's $41 price tag. Next, we're making a vase inspired by McGee Co.'s Loeffler Randall Tabitha vase, which retails around $62. I found a similar shaped vase at Dollarama for just $3, and we're going to give the designer look with paint. So for this, you will need a glass vase. Like I said, I picked up mine for $3 at Dollarama. I also used Suede paint in olive by DecoArt, a little bit of plaster, which I will show you what I'm using it for at the end, and of course you're going to need a paintbrush, and that's it. So since glass is smooth and doesn't absorb paint well, I applied 2 full coats of this DecoArt Suede paint. This paint has a slightly grainy texture which helps mimic the subtle texture of the McGee Co vase. I did wait fully between the coats for it to dry fully in between the coats. And for the third coat, I mixed a tiny amount of plaster into the paint. This helped thicken it and provided a full coverage, ensuring no light would shine through the vase. I avoided painting the entire inside, but did coat the rim for a finished look. Once dried, the vase had the perfect smooth yet textured finish, very similar to the high-end version. My final cost was under $4 compared to $62 retail. Next, for our third DIY, we are making high-end speckled Easter eggs inspired by McGee Co. Their set of 3 eggs costs $28, but I'll show you how to make them for less than $5. I picked up these plastic eggs at Dollarama for $3.50, and I also got some chalk paint in sea blue, ice cappuccino, and moss green, and I also have an acrylic paint in black, and you will need paintbrush, and you can also use a toothbrush if you would like. So I painted each egg with a different color. First, I started with a speckled effect, and to achieve that signature speckled look, I dipped a brush, and this is the part where you can use an old toothbrush, into black paint and slightly flicked it over the eggs. Be careful, paint splatter can go everywhere. Then I painted my next one with the sea blue chalk paint, making sure that the brush strokes are visible to mimic the effect on the eggs from McGee Co. The third egg I painted a nice cappuccino using the same technique. And then the last egg, I mixed my sea blue with a little bit of moss green and a little bit of black for a custom paint color. I love how these turned out. They are quite large eggs, and I can't wait to style them in my Easter decor. For our last project, we're making a concrete style bunny inspired by Barn's cast stone rabbit, which retails for over $50. I picked up this Dollarama rabbit for $3.75. I'm also going to use black and white acrylic paint, some antiquing wax, and a little bit of olive green suede paint that we used in our first project, and then a paintbrush and a rag. Since I didn't have gray paint, I mixed black and white acrylic until I achieved the right shade of gray. I painted the whole rabbit, making sure I got into all the little nooks and crannies of the rabbit. The eyes on this rabbit always freak me out a little bit, so I like to cover them as well. Once I painted it, I did take a rag and just dabbed it all over just to um, almost blend the paint in a little bit. They did take the paint off the eyes, so I did have to touch them up. Once the bunny completely dried, I mixed white antiquing wax with a bit of that olive green color to create a mossy patina. I lightly brushed it all over the bunny, making sure it settled into the crevices. Then I took another brush and blended the wax to ensure a natural look. And the total cost of mine was around $5 compared to Pottery Barn's uh, over 50, I think it was $69. And I also just want to give you a little tip. If you're shopping at Dollarama, make sure you check your bunny prices, because there were, when I was looking at them, I picked up two same rabbits, and one was priced at $3.50 and the other one was priced at $5. I have a feeling that one was from last year's stock, and then the other one was this year's stock, so the prices must have gone up, but they had forgot to switch the price tags. So make sure you check your prices, because there's no reason to pay more if you don't have to. I love how this bunny turned out. I think he looks absolutely adorable. Obviously, I'm not going to be using mine in the garden, but he will look just fabulous on my shelf or on my coffee table. These DIYs prove that you don't need to have to spend a fortune to get a high-end designer inspired look. Which project was your favorite? Let me know in the comments, and if you recreate any of these, tag me on Instagram. My link is down in the bio, in the description box. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next budget-friendly DIYs. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.